Welcome, everybody, to the R&R CatCast, a fan-based podcast focusing on Montana State athletics. We're two dudes named Ryan from the state of Washington talking about our dear Montana State. We hope you enjoy. All right, welcome back, Bobcat fans. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the R&R CatCast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Foley. I'm joined with my good buddies tonight. That is Ryan Thornburg and Zach Levere. We are the Ryans and the Z of the R&R CatCast, the Montana State affiliate of the Big Sky Podcast Network. And we have a sweet sponsor in the Bobcat Athletic Collective, the bobcatcollective.com, that is. Are you a proud supporter of Montana State athletics? The Bobcat Collective is the first and only NIL collective for Montana State student athletes, empowering them to succeed both on and off the field. We're here to connect with fans, businesses, and the community to these incredible athletes through name, image, and likeness opportunities. If you're passionate about supporting the Bobcat athletes, visit bobcatcollective.com today to learn more and sign up to be a member for as low as $25 a month. Membership not only supports Montana State student athletes, but also provides great perks for members, including exclusive access to events, behind-the-scenes content, and more. For businesses, we also offer corporate sponsorships, providing a unique way to promote your brand through the power of the athlete and the collective. Join us in making an impact and elevating the Bobcat community. Go to bobcatcollective.com today and mention the R&R CatCast.
And buy the Tailgater beer.
Had a couple of those this weekend. They're pretty good.
Not too bad.
Yeah, never had one. I also had my first sip. Good stuff. Good tailgating beer. Works out.
The best thing I drank all week long was those Huckleberry lemonades branded by Montana State.
The Gold Rush.
Oh, I couldn't get enough of them. I had 3 at the game, and then we went to the basketball game. I had 2 large ones at the basketball games. That's equivalent to probably 6 of those altogether that night.
It's probably about 180 grams of sugar.
Yeah,
grams of sugar somewhere there.
I couldn't get enough of them. I need a case. Send me a case. I appreciate all the people who are sending beer to this podcast. Bobcat, what did you call it? Gold Rush Huckleberry
Gold
lemonade?
Rush lemonades.
Oh,
dude,
man.
Those things are so good on the Madison River. If you're wanting if you're going to work later, or you're just floating the river during the summer, just imagine floating the Madison, sun glistening, and having one of those ice cold. Oh, they're fantastic.
Whew. I was introduced. My world was just blown. Okay. 13-0, fellas. How's that feel?
I don't know. Felt appropriate. Feels amazing, guys. Feels amazing.
You know what's interesting? The fact that we're 13-0, and I doubt the players actually even think about it all that much. In fact, I think Ty McCullough said it today. He was like, yeah, we don't really think about being undefeated all that much. And it's the narrative that you hear on the media waves. Man, the pressure's mounting. The pressure's mounting. There must be, this undefeated season. I don't know if they feel it like the media is saying.
I don't think they do.
No.
I know you were worried about that going into Cat Grizz. The pressure's all on the Bobcats. Like I think the guys think it's a privilege to have the pressure.
The only pressure I thought maybe would be a hiccup this year was this week, was all the vegan rumors, coaching rumors going around, maybe, some internal locker room stuff, but we didn't have any of that. We came out and smashed him in the face.
Yeah, we did. All right. Okay. Well, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's do a little bit of show rundown like we normally do. We'll get into some news. We'll talk about Coach Vigen's press conference and what he wore. We'll break down the stats that was the whoop down against Unity. Unity. There's a new word. No, it's not a new word. University of Tennessee Martin. See what I did there, fellas? And then we'll preview the grudge match with
They're united and getting their butts kicked this weekend.
With Idaho. And we'll take some golden coolies.
Sounds good. We got a fair amount of golden coulis and a couple I think you'll appreciate there, Fully.
Sounds good,
Designed, directed directly at you.
Ooh, I like it. Perfect. All right, but first let's talk about what's in our golden coolies.
What's in your golden coolie?
What's in Your Golden Coolie is sponsored by Wilbur Ellis. Go see Shay Richter and company up in Fort Benton for all of your farming and fertilizer needs. Foley, is your cat making too much noise? You need kitten mittens. I'm drinking kitten mittens winter ale from Colshan. They released it a couple weeks ago. They have a big party every year that they release it. It's a winter ale that they brew, Colshan Brewing Company over here in Bellingham. It's pretty funny. It's a pretty good winter ale. I drink it pretty much every year when it comes out. Mostly for the name because it's a funny name, and I love Sunny in Philadelphia.
Fully, have you been throwing shade at your Grizz fans that you know in your life? Well, come on down and get yourself from Shades Brewing in Salt Lake, Utah, a blueberry cheesecake sour ale.
Oh my gosh,
This
that
is
sounds horrible.
One of the most interesting beers I've ever had. It was one of those things you just look at and you go, I just got to try it. I'm not a huge sour guy, but it's not bad.
Very questionable, Zach. Very questionable.
I told you before, I'm coming with one of the wildest beers, but I don't know. It's wintertime. It's a sour. It sounded good. It's a good dessert beer.
I don't want the word sour and cheese together.
Wait a second. Did you say that again?
Or beer.
What
Then
is-
throw
is
beer into that equation.
Blueberry muffin? Is that
It's
what
a
you said?
blueberry cheesecake sour ale from Shades
Oh.
Brewing in Salt Lake, Utah.
Sounds like an abomination that should be burned alive and cast
Do you
into the
even have a
ocean.
backup? Because when your mouth gets like a little puckered,
I got my good old Bush Peach Light over
Bush
here.
Peach.
That's
There
my
you go.
backup.
there you go.
My 30 rack for $9.99, baby. Town and pump.
I feel like your backup after that should be like a cigarette. Jesus. Oh, sounds horrible.
Oh man!
But I
All
try
right.
it. If someone put it in front of my face, I drink it.
I'm
We
drinking.
didn't pre-plan that. I'm kind of proud of us for those intros.
Yeah, now you got to do one too, Fully.
Yeah,
Make it a
come
little
on,
clever
Fully.
thing.
I'm drinking the Montana Classic Pig's Ass Porter
Ooh.
from Harvest Moon in the great, what is it called? The Golden Triangle. There it is, the Golden Triangle. So Mike Nice, we met up with him at the basketball game, and Thorny was flying. I drove. Mike brought us 3 6-packs of beer. Guess who got all of them?
Not me.
Thank you, Mike. This is awesome, man. This is a. I was almost going to look this up. I think probably there's a wiki page for this beer. This is an old classic.
It's one of the first like microbrews I can really remember.
Yeah, we're talking over 20 years old at least with this beer.
Yeah,
At least
before the
Way
whole
before my
boom.
time.
Yeah.
Before the whole microbrew boom,
right
like the
there in
mid-
Belt,
late 2000s.
Montana. Have you ever been there, Zach? Have you ever been to Belt?
I have not.
Cool little
That's-
brewery.
I'm not even sure that's their best beer either.
No, it's good though. It's really good.
Belgian
So-
White is amazing, so they make good beer.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
just haven't had that in a while. I did have a pig's ass at the airport on my way out. It's the last thing I had
Nice.
in Montana. I had a pig's ass for $9 friggin' bucks at the airport,
I used to fly
which
fish.
they just gave to me in the bottle without even a glass. It's like, cool, thanks, $9.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I used to go over there all the time because I mean, living in Great Falls, I would fly fish on Bell Creek quite often, and then I'd stop over down in Belt, which is a cool little town. By the way, Belt Rodeo, one of the best times you can have in the summer if you make it out there, North Central Montana. It's before, yes, I think it's before 4th of July. I mean, small town rodeos in Montana
It's
are
the
some
best.
of the best. Yeah, some of the
Small
best
town
times you
rodeo
can have.
season is the best during the summer.
Absolutely. So there you go. Shout out Belt, Montana. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the beer, buddy.
That longest coolie segment we've ever had.
Yeah, that was dizzy. All right, steer the shit fully.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk news. Didn't know where to go with there right at that moment. Coach Vegan won an award. Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award. That deserves an applause.
Woo! That's my coach.
And a cha-ching.
Yeah.
Yeah, does he get
Yeah,
a bump
there
for
it
that?
is.
I think he gets a bonus for that.
Should. He deserves a bonus for that.
Yeah. I saw it coming. Your thoughts?
We're the only 13-0 team or 12-0 undefeated team. We had a great season. He's led the way. He clearly deserved it.
Absolutely. I think he deserved it. A lot of times these rewards go to a coach who comes into a garbage program and then they go like 9-2 and make the playoffs for the first time in forever. And like, oh, coach of the year. I think going undefeated, even if you have high expectations, is a coach of the year award worthy season. And I'm glad the voters agreed with that.
Is it bigger news that Coach got the award or that he did not get poached for a FBS job last week?
I guess the FBS thing,
Yeah.
in terms of impact.
Seems like we rode that ship. Don't know how true any of that was, but it was a stressful couple days.
It could have all been just smoke. Yeah. Nothing. There's nothing there. You'll never really know the answers.
We'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt pretty good after talking to Zach on that episode that we put out a couple weeks or like 2 weeks ago during, or some time ago. And then when the news was hitting the airwaves, I was like, it's like refresh on Bobcat Nation in between classes and trying to figure out, texting all the feelers out there who's got information. It's like, oh no, I hate this every year. I hate this, but he's our coach so far. Still,
it's the negative side of all the success we've had the last 4 years in football and basketball.
Yeah, but I think you did put a good, perspective out there. Like Leon hasn't had a bad hire. If this does happen, for sure, will we take a step back? Likely, will it be a negative impact in the long run? Probably not.
No. If and when it happens, just go reread my article, the one and only article on the rcatcast.com where I wrote about Danny Sprinkle leaving. It's going to be the same sentiment.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not dwell on that because it hasn't happened. Let's talk about
happened. We kept him.
Let's talk about what Coach wore in his press conference today.
And now, Bobcat fans, it's time for F&F Fashion Watch, brought to you by Foley and Fisher, the only two that seem to really care what Brent Vegan is wearing at his press conference.
Got to say hi to Russell this weekend. It was good to see him.
Coach
wore his dark navy suit, a light blue shirt, accented with a large square check, complemented with a blue and gray paisley tie. No pocket square, no baloney.
Saving it for the end of the year.
Saving it. I believe in it.
Saving it.
I love that paisley tie he wears, man. That is is one of my favorites. Absolute game changer when he brings out the paisley.
I like it because you say the word paisley, and it's just it's an amusing word to hear you say.
Coach always wears. Here's something I've kind of noticed with Coach. He always wears some sort of cross-hatch pattern. If it's not his plaid suit, his subtle navy plaid suit, it is in his shirt, and he normally goes with a big crosshatch, which is pretty sharp on him. So I gotta give it to Coach, man. He's got some style.
I go back to what Keaton told us about maybe it was just me, the schlubbification of coaches, how most just show up to things in quarter zips, especially in basketball. I've grown on it. I really like that Coach wears the suit every Monday. It shows a little extra care, like a little extra oomph.
Now we were at the Bobcat Prowl for the game, and Coach comes out in that suit. I'm like, yeah, nice. Just looks good, looks sharp.
We had an opportunity. We were within 10 feet of him, and we just kind of just smiled and said, "Go, Coach!"
Pocket that was it. Square.
Yeah, another pocket square opportunity squandered.
Yeah, what if you should have just gave him a pocket square, just handed that out. He would have been like, "What is this? A napkin?"
Just go up there and just shove it into his pocket and run off.
Cool. Pause for a moment. I'll tuck it in.
Can we get him for Christmas an R&R branded pocket square?
I think so.
Here's what I'm going to get him.
That's our next
swag
item.
Get him a pocket
square, custom made
and
pocket
squares. Branded cufflinks for his jacket. That's what I want. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell when somebody knows way too much about something and they're forced to talk about it, because he came up to the microphone and I've never seen Coach Vegan just rattle off things about any team like he just rattled off about Idaho. He was just like bored. He's like, and these guys Pow, 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 and he just laid it all out. I was like, he's ready, guys. It's, his little line he put out there, kill or be killed. I'm pretty sure he's just thinking about that all day long. Like, he is ready for Idaho. Absolutely just stone cold ready.
Vandals are for dinner.
Man, I hope that's true. I love the fire he has towards Idaho for some
You can,
reason.
if you watch enough of his press conferences, you start to read Vegan. Because if you just watch him, you're like, he doesn't give you much, but he gives you a ton when you get to know his language, his body language, and what he says. Boys, he's fired up. He takes this game personal. Something happened.
Something
2
happened
years
in the
ago.
Kiwi Dome.
Yeah, something happened in the Kiwi Dome. I mean, I don't know what that is, and I've speculated about it in my brain. I have no clue what it is. He took it personal. He still takes it personal. It was revenge in October. It's still revenge, guys. It hasn't left. It's blood in the water right now.
I mean, now you have a chance for the ultimate revenge and ending their season completely.
It's always seemed to me the outlier game of his 9 losses as coach. That game at Idaho is the outlier of all the other ones. The other ones were Montana, Dakota States, or FBS programs. And that one Idaho game is like kind of a little outlier right there. That game just ruined last year. I am a firm believer that game ruined last year's season.
Yes. Well, it broke the Bobcats in some way.
It broke us. Whatever it did, it ruined that season.
No, we never fully recovered, and all the rumors of infighting or toxicity in the locker room, coaching staff, whatever, it all kind of just escalated and came to fruition, or came to the spotlight after the Idaho loss, and just never got it right.
We'll talk about it more, but just some highlights from the press conference.
Oh, yeah, the press conference.
Yeah.
He did say Rohan is upgraded, was doubtful last week. The way we saw him moving on the sideline was encouraging, but coach called Rohan a clown after the press
He was on the Jumbotron the whole game.
The whole game. He called him a clown. I thought that was kind of funny.
I didn't hear that part.
He said, still hoping on Julius. I don't know, Zach, what you think about this, but 39, I think Julius is just done. So, and that's not inside information. I think he's done for the year. And the last thing I'll say is 2 more things. He talked about, or some reporter talked about, hey, are you worried about offensive trick plays? And he's like, no, Idaho just use trick plays. That's who they are. There's a little bit of insight into how he feels about that, because we just need to be ready for it, play good defense. And he kind of ended the quote with a smirk and said, we need to play with great intent.
Got to play 4-down football against Idaho. You got to look at them, and every one of their drives they have, you got to expect them that they're going for it on every drive, no matter where they are on the field. That's just who Eck is as a gambler. So don't expect to see their punter too often.
Over under them going for 4th down, 2.5.
Over.
3.5.
Over.
I'm not taking 4.5.
Yeah, I was going to stop.
That was where I was at. Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah,
it's an interesting thing for Vegan to say. Like, once a team that's just part of their offense at this point. So it's not. It's just there. So you're planning for it because it's going to happen. So it kind of loses it's not really a trick play anymore now, is it? If it's not,
no.
If it's just part of what you do all the time, it's not really, it loses its kind of shine, I guess you say, or its surprise ability. You just know what to expect. Now, maybe it's a different variation of a trick play. That's no different than a new wrinkle in an offense for a specific game plan that you're going to come up against. So I don't know. Somebody asked to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, somebody asked him about Jack Lane. Coach was like, yeah, he's not that much different than the other guys they've been putting out there. He has more consistency with the deep ball. But Who we see last time? Wagner? He said he was a bunch different.
No,
than
we saw
Wagner.
Josephic, right?
Joseph, then Wagner, because Joseph broke his collarbone in the
Oh,
second
that's
quarter.
right.
Oh, yeah,
Marcus
Paul
Ware
Broad
Paul
just
Broad
landed
just
on him.
laid on him.
Oh, yeah,
Like a
Paul
big
Broad.
old whale. Just
Marcus Ware. There I get confused again.
Jeez. Oh,
Well,
man.
Idaho guys certainly think there's a whole different entire offensive scheme when Jack Lane's in there.
I think I was tweeting at somebody late in the fourth quarter when we played Idaho the first time. They're like, well, if Jack Lane was in, this would be a different ball game. I said, congrats, it'd be 38-7. When it was 38-0.
Yeah, 38-14 maybe. Jack Lane doesn't play defense last time I checked.
I'm so confident in how we're playing. That was a
Ooh.
complete game against UT Martin.
A couple posters on Bobcat Nation said that might be the most complete game they've seen in 25 years.
I'm not even sure I'd argue that. I mean, that's a very hard thing to remember, but gosh, I have no nits to pick on that one.
It just reminded me how many weapons we have on the outside as well as wide receivers that we haven't seen as much this year because we haven't needed to use them. But when we did spread it out a little bit on a team that did have somewhat of a rush defense, 300 yards in the air is pretty impressive. It made me feel good playing the Dakota States. It's like, hey, we're not one dimensional.
No,
at
we
all.
finally got to that point where I feel comfortable and confident we can pass to win a football game.
Me too.
It took a long time to get here.
So it's Hack City, Joe DeLeon, and who's the other guy that
Sean Anderson.
Yeah, Sean Anderson. He goes, Montana State, they're just sickos. They've been hiding this passing game all year and choose to debut it now. What the hell?
He's not wrong, man. Yeah. I think the staff feels we can beat anybody by just handing the ball to Scotty Humphrey over and over.
And running A-gap power.
That's just enough. That is enough to beat most teams.
He's like, how the heck do you even plan for Montana State? Good luck. Oh, my word. Guys, Tommy Malott, 22 for 25, 300 yards. I think Tommy just decided to say, you know what? Screw these guys. We're just busting out the lasers and the cannons. It's over, boys. Time to unleash Tommy. What if that is unleashing Tommy? We've been talking about unleashing Tommy all year long. What if that was the version of Unleash Tommy?
He didn't even really run either. I mean, he chose to dump it off on sometimes where he could have gotten 5 yards, but he took the 3-yard route, which we didn't need him to do anything more.
He had 6 runs for 19 yards. Yeah. Done, man. That's crazy.
The crazy part is he didn't need to do any of that, I don't think. I think we beat UT Martin no matter what we do.
Yeah. What's the comp for UT Martin in the Big Sky?
Do you think Idaho State could have a game against him? Who wins against them in Idaho State? In a neutral site.
Oh, UT Martin. UT Martin beats Idaho State.
All right.
Do the Grizz beat UT Martin?
Yes.
In Missoula, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If they do, to
I don't
be
know.
honest with you, dude, their quarterback is just so weird.
Yeah, they fell apart there.
We call that though. I was like, I was surprised Fife waited till Sunday to put his portal in information in. I was like, all right, how long after the South Dakota State game do we get the Fife in the portal?
I assume to do like a halftime tweet.
Does UT Martin beat Northern Arizona?
I haven't watched a ton of NAU football because they weren't on our schedule this year, so I don't know.
You could say with reckless abandon, yes.
Yeah,
you do.
Yes,
yeah.
Sure.
There you go. That's how you do this podcast. Unsubstantiated facts. There it is.
Just come out with opinions.
Gosh, you know what
I thought podcasts
about?
Are people
kept calling Coward employed for 25 years.
I was impressed with UT Martin's secondary, specifically their linebackers. We had talked about how much studs they are. 10 interceptions between the 3 starting linebackers who are all seniors. Big boys who can move. Their defensive line was hefty too. Their defensive end was fast and big. So
they're big boys.
Yeah, they kind of had some moments there where you're like, oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to run on the team. And I think that's why Tommy decided just to unleash it.
I don't know. They just look slow. I thought their entire defense looked slow.
Okay. Didn't think you were going to say
they had
that.
good hand size, rightfully.
and not mid drink. Almost had pig's ass porter coming out my nose there, buddy.
I don't think they are slow. I think it's a case of they didn't play fast because they were just confused.
Well, one of their players said they prepared this week. Like they told one of the guys who was here in 21 told the team before the game, prepare like you're going into an SEC environment as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice little compliment.
Yeah, one of the in the post game, one of their players said, we played Georgia, we played I can't
Kansas
remember.
State, I think they played this year.
Yeah, but he was specifically talking about SEC schools, and he said Montana State's atmosphere rivaled that. I was like, whoa, that's pretty big praise, whether it's like, factually true or not. Obviously, we don't have 80,000 fans, but
that was a small crowd for us too on Saturday.
Yeah, it listed what at like a little over 17,000.
A little over 17,
not 17,777 like we would have. I thought there was 20,000 there.
It looked full when I was looking out and taking pictures. Like I didn't see very many empty seats.
What do you think, Zach? I mean, you get to go to every home game.
It was definitely the you could see it was the least attended. I kind of judge by how many people are in the standing room only berm over there on the home side. But it still was pretty damn loud. And I mean, those 2 false start penalties, boy, that place got rocking.
Yeah.
Late. And I expect 22,000, next week or next Friday night. I
really
think a Friday night game on ESPN, a little bit of juice, a little buzz in the town. The Idaho game earlier this year is the greatest Bobcat crowd I've ever seen in Bobcat Stadium. That crowd was amped up and ready to go.
I want to beat these guys like 200-0. I really do.
I want the shutout this time.
No, you want to talk about the stats?
Touchdown.
yeah, Thorny. Let's talk about the stats.
I'm going to try and steer this ship a little bit before we go too far off the rails. All right. The stats segment is brought to you by Pronghorn Wealth. Let's see. If you haven't looked at the stats on your company's 401k since the last time, I don't know what I was going to say here. I had a plan. Since Jeff Joe was coach, I'll just go with the classic ad read here. Sorry, Kendall. Reach out to Kendall at Pronghorn Wealth to benchmark your current plan fees. Man, 49-17. Foley, I remember you talking to me before the game. You said if UT Martin scores 17 points, you're going to be worried. I think that was the number that came into your head.
I did not say that. You're making that up.
Did. No, I don't make it up. You were a wreck when it was 21-10.
That is so false.
The world was falling for you when it was 21-10. You were ready to walk around the stadium and do a lap.
Anyway, Bobcats win 49-17. Enough dogging on Foley here. Cats end up with 22 first downs, doubling up UT Martin with just 11 first downs. UT Martin just 7 of 19 on third down. The Cats a cool 50%, 5 of 10. The Skyhawks went for it twice on fourth down and converted one of them. The Cats did not go for it at fourth down. 504 yards. The total offense rolled up by the Montana State offense. 300 through the air, 204 on the ground. Just piling up the yards and an efficient day and lots of yards per pass and yards per carry to be thrown around there. Skyhawks finished with 264 yards. It's just total offense, 172 through the air on 16 of 31 passing on just 5.5 yards per completion. And one of those includes that 50-yard touchdown pass. I don't even imagine what their stats would be if they didn't connect on that. 92 rushing yards on 35 attempts for just 2.6 yards per carry. Skyhawks were penalized 7 times for 62 yards. Cats, good job. 4 penalties for 35 yards. That's pretty good. Anything under 5, I'm pretty happy with that number. Loss of time possession battle. That's a first. We only had 29 minutes and 23 seconds of time of possession, and the Skyhawks had 30 minutes and 37 seconds of time of possession. So even all those games where we've had explosive plays and we've been rolling up the score, I feel like we still won the time of possession battle. But the Skyhawks, they won it. So there's the interesting stat in here. And, of course, no turnovers again by either team. It's something that's just kind of a theme for the Cats this year. Not forcing any, not giving up any, just like zeros in a lot of games.
It would have felt like we won the time of possession, but when we put in their last offensive drive, and it just matriculated down the field with a couple of penalties. And then we had the interception that was not the interception because it got called back for pass interference. That's what tilted time of possession in Skyhawks' favor. Guys, it felt like the Skyhawks punted a lot, and they did. 8 punts for 377 yards. Their punter had a freaking cannon for a leg.
Yeah, right. That
He
guy
had-
loved punting up the high elevation.
Yeah.
He had himself good.
He had 3 plus 50-yard punts in this game. We punted surprisingly 5 times.
Yeah, you score 49 points, lose a time possession battle, and you punted 5 times. It's just blow my
We
mind.
scored 2 out of 2 times in the red zone, which we scored 49 points. You're like, we only were in the red zone twice. They also were in the red zone twice, and they were also 2 for 2. I thought that was interesting. We had 5 sacks, guys, for 25 yards, negative 25 yards, and they had 1 sack for 9. Tommy Malott, 22 for 25, 300, 4 tutties, and he rushed the ball 6 for 19 times. Before I move on to anybody, would anybody like to take a stab on recalling the 3 incompletions Tommy had?
One was a wild overthrow where he missed Alexander by about 30 yards.
That is
The other
one.
2 are batted down.
Yep. There you go, Thorny. Good job, buddy. All right. Scott Tree Humphrey, 11 for 102, 1 touchdown with a long 36. Adam Jones had 7 touches for 45 yards with a touchdown. Ty McCullough. Now let's see. He had 4 catches for 58 yards with a touchdown, a long of 39. That wobbly duck, but he was wide open. And then he had 3 carries for 23 yards and a rushing touchdown. Guys, get Ty McCullough the damn ball. Let's go. Ryan Lonergan, three catches for 90 yards with a long of 48. That was a 3rd down conversion. Taco had himself a day. 4 catches for 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 5 returns for 51 yards with a long of 40. Hunter Provience. There you go, Pete, San Diego guy. 2 for 30 with 1 touchdown. Rylan Iron Ort, 5 solo, 7 total. Paul Brott had 6 total, 1 sack. Brody Greavy had 5 total, 1.5 sacks.
His first sack since like week 7.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and take a look, but yeah, must be tough when you're battling double teams all day long, right? Kenneth Iden, 4 total, 1.5 sacks. Dominic Solano, there's a name that we'll be familiar with in the future. 3 total, and then he had a sack. Miles Sandstead was 7 for 7 on PATs, no field goal attempts. Brendan Hall, 8 kickoffs for 520 yards. And Kincaid Dent, UT Martin's quarterback, was 15 for 29 for 167, 2 touchdowns. And again, I said 5 sacks. There are your stats.
Take Tommy out of the equation. Give somebody a game ball for best performance. Who else are you giving it to? Because there's about 5 guys you just listed that I could argue were player of the game.
Ty
Taco.
McCullough.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes. Taco and Ty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Gosh, Taco's like quietly just like lethal this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, he's
I
a
think
weapon,
I've like
man.
underappreciated how good he is, especially in the return game.
I think that's really coming into his own, though, too, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's also healthy this year. He's been 100% all year.
Yeah, that's a good point, guys. I think we need to press the boundary on this game. I know we had like 370 rushing yards against these mofo's last year, in October. But from what I've seen lately in the last 2 games with the fly sweep with McCullough and with McCullough and Taco, I don't know why we don't run more iterations of that because nobody's stopping it.
I have it up right here. We had 360 rushing yards, 125 passing for 485 total yards. And we pulled the starters in the 4th.
Do it again. Like I said, beat them by 200. Bees down.
They also went for it 6 times on 4th down.
6 times?
6 times in that game. They were 3 for 6 on 4th.
Wow. I don't remember that.
Buy or sell, we have more than 485 yards of total offense in
I
this
have
game.
485. That's a weird number. Is that what we had
That's
last time?
what we had last time, yeah.
Okay. Buy or sell, we have
I
more.
buy it.
So
I think we're a better team than that October team.
I just think Idaho will possess the ball a bit longer. I
I
think it's just a numbers game in terms of how many snaps we get.
pragmatism.
try.
It says sell, but like I think we have a chance of avalanching these fools from Idaho.
Fully
Can
tell me
tell
how
how
you really feel about
I know.
Idaho.
I'm using all my nice words without busting out any cuss words over here.
I mean, to your point though, Foley, like what I saw from UT Martin with the rise of like the taco sweep and Taimakola sweep and the screen passing game, combine that with a fully healthy Scotty Humphrey up the gut, up the A gap, and Adam Jones doing his thing, and Tommy taking off like he did.
On the tight end
And
game
and
now we have.
and then the tight ends getting utilized, and Tommy not even running the ball. Like the Bobcats can attack you from everywhere, and I don't see how Idaho. I don't see how Idaho can stop it. I don't see how anybody. I mean, the Dakotas maybe because they can control line of scrimmage probably better than anyone else. I don't think Idaho can though.
UT Martin's defensive line was better than Idaho's defensive line.
They're bigger, for sure.
I think their defense overall was better.
Do you think those guys in that defensive room right now for Idaho are being like, oh, crap, we got to go see that guy again?
It can't be fun to game plan for Tommy.
I think they're going to
I'm
be
not sure
There's
scared
Scottrey.
or
It's
anything,
just
but-
getting run over by Scottrey.
I mean, if you give him some,
Oh, that's right. He ran that guy over the goal line, didn't he?
Yeah.
Forgot about that. That's sweet.
Honestly, they're like, I think the revenge factor for them is huge.
It's a big one.
Yeah, the thing that gives me a little bit like trust is like, hey, we beat Weber almost back to back, like we did last. What was it? Was that in 2022?
It was 22.
Yeah, 2022. So coach knows how to do this. Yeah. I mean, X gonna have them juiced and ready to go, as they should, right? It's the playoffs, it's the quarterfinals, like everything's on the line. Full stop. Everything they've won every game since they've played us. Did you know that? 6 wins in a row.
Yeah.
They're going to come back.
Close
Not-
games against some real
Yeah,
bad teams too.
not in particularly impressive wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they win close games, and so that's the thing. If they make it close with us, that's
It's hard to win on the road in the playoffs.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Especially in a
brutally
place
hard.
like Bozeman.
Yeah.
Zach, I don't know if you remember this. The last time we had a poor showing on a Friday night,
Was it Sam Houston and
Sam
12?
Houston. Yeah, it was December 7th. I remember it distinctly in my brain. And it was like the first time I felt like Montana State was in a big time atmosphere. And we just did not show
I
up.
remember that game. I remember that.
Yeah.
We just no-showed.
Yeah.
But again, that was a Rob Ash team in a very different situation.
Yeah, I know. And I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, it's just.
The only good thing that came out of that game is Alex Singleton got in late as a freshman and kind of like, all right, that guy's got some juice.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from that game. Positive memory.
And he was in Bobcat Stadium last Saturday.
It was there.
Yeah, beautiful hair, beautiful beard.
Mm.
He's got a lot going. He should be on a Head and Shoulders commercial.
He's got that perfect like beard line.
Yeah.
It just grows that way. Jealous.
Players I saw last weekend: Alex Singleton, Logan Jones, Isaiah Fonse, Braden Conkle, Jeffrey Manning, friend of the pod, Jeffrey Manning.
That guy's gonna strangle you if he ever sees you. He's gonna like take you like the Simpsons and just like chokehold you, like Bart.
Yeah, I think that's like quite a few guys, and there's more.
Jeez.
I saw Cleveland.
Oh yeah, he's looking jacked.
He looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
That's awesome that so many former players are coming back, though. That's just a sign of a healthy program.
yeah.
When you
It
have
is, man.
dudes wanting to come back and want to be there and are on the sideline, that's just awesome.
Thorny, I wanted your take, man, because I wanted to talk about this a little bit. I know we're just weaving all over right now. What was your Give me
Bush Beach
your
has entered the
give me your
chat.
take on just what it felt like to be back at Bobcat Stadium. What did you notice uh, about the game day experience?
I mean, to preface that a little bit, man, I had a great time in Bozeman. I felt like I completely transported myself back in time to 2003. We went out on Friday night. We had dinner at Ale Works. I had Bozone Ambers at Ale Works. Then we hit the Crystal. Then we ended up at the Cannery. And on Saturday, we went tailgating, saw the game. And then we ended up as spectators after the game. And then we went to the basketball game after that. And then Sunday, I had breakfast at Main Street Over Easy before I hit it. And on the way out of town, I hit up the Bozeman Hot Springs before I went to the airport. I was like,
It's changed.
yeah, it's a little different than I remember it, but it still felt amazing. I was like, dang, this is like, I didn't even plan it. I just like, that was like the perfect Bozeman old guy who used to go to Bozeman weekend. I hit up all the spots that are still there from my old relic of a day there. And man, the atmosphere was awesome. The game was great. The crowd was loud. The scoreboard was amazing. I was down on the field level for kickoff. And I recorded a video of the players running out and then the rodeo team like running and thundering right next to me. I was like standing next to Leon Costello, basically right there in the end zone. I had a great time. It was such a good time to be a Bobcat, such a fun experience. And yeah, it was just great.
Zach, you said it was just different, and you're right. It exceeded my
is.
expectations, and I didn't like. We were watching it up pretty high by the retired jerseys up there, and that was a cool vantage point. And you could see the crowd. And you said it's the sparsest crowds that we had because you look at the overflow and whatnot. Man, I'm telling you, dude, it's just
Pretty full to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you look at
If
the
that's
east side
empty?
stands and they're still full in the fourth quarter, whew, dude, that is
In a blowout.
in a blowout.
Game was
And
over at
Thorny, to
halftime.
your point, like there was a moment when we were going over to this stadium and we were just standing there, and you and I were just sipping on a beer, waiting for Zach to show up, and we looked at each other like it feels like it's 2002, right at that moment, and it just all the feels of being back in Bozeman on our campus, just everything that just felt so damn familiar, but so much better at the same time. I
Mhm.
mean, the tour in the BAC, it was so
Yeah, what do you guys think of that?
I forgot. We got a
God,
tour
man,
with the BAC. Didn't even mention that.
just so impressed with everything that's going on in Bobcat land right now. Montana State is just ultra impressive. It's wild. Like
It's all coming to Bobcats.
it's all coming up
Coming
Bobcats.
up Bobcats. We need to trademark that.
Oh, we're
Okay,
on it.
Get right on that. I mean, I know how to. I don't really want to.
The Grizz fan pod, they were going to they're going to trademark only Grizz fans or Grizz fans only.com or something like that.
You don't have to be lonely at onlygrizzfans.com.
GrizzFans.com.
All right. I don't know where to
trademarks
go
are
from
funner.
here.
Is there anything else you want to talk about in the UT Martin game? Like, what do you see from the defense?
I'll say this right here. That's a team that we struggled with. I mean, it's a little bit of comparison. They're about the same team that they probably were in 21. The same
with
coach, same coaching staff. How they do things at UT Martin is they don't hit high schools hard. They go find guys who flame out at SEC schools and Big 12 schools and MAC schools, and they bring them in. And it's not really a last chance but it's kind of a rejuvenation of, hey, if you make it here for a couple of years, maybe you go back. Maybe you get, you still want to play ball and something there. You play at a place like that. So they have a lot of dudes who have played at big time Power 5 schools. And in comparison, we struggled, and that game was still a little bit of a fight in 21. And look what we did this year.
That was Tommy's first start,
First ever
wasn't
start.
it?
Yep.
Yeah. A little bit different
The game
dynamic
was
there,
also
but
super windy.
Yeah, wasn't it 10-7 at half?
I think it was. Tommy got stripped like right before half, and they ran it in.
Interesting.
But it's a good comparison of, and their coach had said some stuff of, yeah, we played them in 21, and they were a good team, but they're nothing like They are now.
Yeah.
No, we've come a long ways. Like I feel like we're finally at the echelon you wanted to be at, where we feel like we're in a league of our own a little bit, or a tier with the rest of the other teams that are in the same tier. I feel like we've talked ourselves into believing we were in that tier for the last couple of years. I feel like we maybe actually are, and maybe I'll come crashing down when we play somebody, but
I don't see that.
I just don't
Not
see
with
it.
this team.
I don't see this team faltering like that. I just don't see it, man. They're too well coached. They're too senior laden. They're too motivated and focused.
These are vegan guys too.
This is a vegan coach team right now. This is what
almost everybody on this team, besides a couple dudes, are vegan dudes.
We put to bed the he's only winning because he's got choke guys.
Yep,
that's gone.
Just seems the leadership that comes from our captains is such a quiet but a steely confidence. Tommy Malott, Brody Greeby, Justice Perkins, Rylan Ort. Guys who, Montana guys that are, they're not the rah-rah guys, but they just play and lead by example. It just feels like this team is unshakable because they're cut from
so
that cloth.
Bought in.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every one of them's been brainwashed that they're so bought into this.
Yeah. And now it's starting to like kind of, the picture is like coalescing for me why Jeff Choate was so good in big time like Catgirls games, because that guy rode emotion more than anybody. And I would take this version of the Bobcats over that any day. Because if you give me someone who is confident because they've been battle tested, and there's a lot to be said, fellas, about the shortcomings that this group has felt last year, the years before. Like, okay, throw it at us. We've already felt that. And now there's only one thing left to do. And that's to go win it all. And that's what I think we are going to do.
How many Bobcat fans do you think bought their tickets to Frisco after that game?
Hopefully not many, because they're expensive.
They're already expensive.
Thorny. A wet blanket of the Arnar. His name is
wet
Ryan
blanket.
Thornburg.
I'm saying wait until get a ticket later.
The wet blanket kind of
How
goes
is that a
around
wet
from
blanket?
From the three of us.
I was a wet blanket for saying don't overpay if you're a Bobcat fan.
I was
Hopefully
curious
not
to get a ticket
many.
after Davis. Ticket prices will drop. That's the thing. That's what I learned. Ticket prices will drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
They'll drop. That's all I'm saying. Jesus.
Hopefully not many. Jeez.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't have any comprehension of what I meant behind that.
Prices are too high. Jeez. Inflation. Jeez.
I don't want to hear anything from you. All you've done is been a negative Nancy for like a month. You were like kicking around dirt when Tennessee Martin scored a touchdown, like grumbling like an old man.
I wasn't grumbling.
I thought you were going to take a walk.
Where was I going to walk?
Around the stadium.
That's the reason you didn't go anywhere, because you couldn't go anywhere. You were trapped.
Gonna be pacing the press box back and forth.
Is that what you do on your walks? Just like kick the ground and kick rocks down the street and chase them down and kick them some more?
I just think 2000s Bobcat football like still has like some scar on Foley's heart somewhere of just
No, not just mine, man. Legions of us.
It's like having a rescue animal. Like I have a rescue cat, and he's still scarred from his previous life a little bit. Right? It's like
I feel
Foley's
like
still a little scarred from the 2000s.
I feel like cured a little bit from that this year. This year has just like rejuvenated me completely. I'm not waiting for their shoe to drop anymore.
Yeah.
I've had that feeling for a long time as a Cat fan.
I was there this morning, and then I started thinking more about the Idaho revenge factor and how much I just dislike Idaho. And I was like, oh, I don't want to lose to these guys. And I was like, no, put that thought out of your brain. I don't think we are. Is there a chance we do? Of course, there's always a chance. You got to play the game right. It just feels different. And
I'm just not worried about it.
Yeah, I don't want to think about what that moment would feel like, because guys,
I feel so confident. I can't even imagine it.
Exactly. But just think, not just think about it, but like Zach, what you just said is like how all of us feel at this moment, and how devastating that would feel
Like, this
if it
ride
came
is
to an end.
not ending because freaking Idaho comes in here on a Friday
Well,
night.
yeah, exactly.
It's not ending. Like, there's no scenario in my head that I can think of that.
Yeah. Okay. But you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm not going to put it out there, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
just.
You're not going to think about the loss, even if it's a possibility. It's not going to be like a focus of your brain for the week.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Mike Nice on Twitter asked us a Golden Coolie question. Where did Foley go for 15 minutes in the second half of the basketball game?
We were wondering that. We thought you were walking the break.
We're like, where did Foley go? We just realized we hadn't seen you in
winning
like
by
10
12.
minutes. I finally turned around and spotted you talking to someone. But classic Foley doesn't say anything. He just gets up and leaves. And we don't even like realize he's gone for like at least 5 minutes. Like,
One of the best moments of the weekend was Tony goes, we were walking to where were we going, Ryan? To the bookstore. And you go, I don't know where you're going, but I'm not even going to ask because you're going to go there regardless with or without me. So I'm just going to walk with you.
I realize that when I'm walking with Foley, he's just going to go the way he wants to go, and nothing doesn't matter. So I'll just kind of sit back and wait and figure out which way he's going. Just follow him. Because
sign of a true leader, right there, guys.
Yeah, I guess it makes me a lemming, but
all right,
just the easier use of time.
It's 50 minutes into this thing. We probably should hit some of those golden coolies. Hit me.
Do we want to talk any more Idaho first? Any actual
their quarterbacks,
football chat?
They're starting quarterbacks back. That's really it. We're pretty much healthy going into this thing.
Is Newbie back? I know he got hurt.
I'm not sure. I feel like he's been back for a bit, or he's not coming back. One of the two. But either way, it's not new news about his status, whatever his status may be.
Now, we were able to run the ball on them pretty prolifically last time
but Tommy was a part of that too, right? Like Tommy had.
Yeah, he had two big runs.
So I'm curious to see how we use Tommy.
We also used the play action a little bit in that game. That opened up some things against their aggression, and I think we could have some sort of success with that as well. But like after last game, guys, how do you prepare? Because if you're not going to load the box like everybody else has been doing against us, then we're just going to run it down your throat. And if you start loading the box, Tommy Mott's going to be like,
he's going to pick you apart now.
Yep. Game point. It's
and
like
if you somehow complement your stacked box with good press coverage and man coverage, then he's going to scramble for 20 yards.
We're sickos, guys. We've been waiting to unleash this all year long.
Do you think we see Rohan at all, or do you think we go the first couple series and, you know, if we're scoring, we're doing fine, we'll just let him sit it out, or do we just think we let him test it and see, hey, coach, I can go or I can't go?
I feel like you start with him and see how he feels. I don't feel like you keep him on the bench in the third quarter. Like, we need you, Rohan. Just throw him into the game cold. I don't think that's the way you go. So I think
he's just one hell of a forward blocker. I mean, Tommy's first touchdown against Idaho, if you watch that 60-yard run, Rohan is blocking a dude 20 yards down the field, just was running a route and then turns around and blocks a dude just 20 yards in the opposite direction of the play and takes the dude out. I mean,
he's blocked multiple guys into the sideline this year. Yeah. If you watch him, like block him.
He's an animal.
He is. I mean, he plays exactly like Derek Snell. Derek Snell did that all the time. He'd block guys into the end zone, like into their own teammates. He's doing the same thing.
Derek Snell would like point at guys. He's like, "I'm coming for you."
Oh man, yeah, I love that guy. And it was Rohan Jones is like same cloth, cut from the same cloth, and I love it.
I just love his attitude and everything he brings. He's just a fun player. He embraces. He just is. He's a Bobcat. He's only been here for like 9 months, but he's becoming one of my favorite Bobcats.
I agree.
Do we get him next year? Or is this
he's a junior, so yeah, he's got one more.
Oh man, I thought he was done. I thought he was a grad transfer.
No, we got one more.
That's awesome. That's good news. Made my day. Yeah. I don't know. I think Idaho can score some more points. I think Jacqueline is definitely an upgrade, and they don't miss as many deep shots. Like Idaho missed some easy throws and catches in their last game against us.
Yeah.
Also attributes to the environment, though.
I mean, we've had
UT
a lot.
Martin missed some throws too.
Yeah, we have made quarterbacks miss throws all year. At some point, we're not just getting lucky; we're influencing it in some way.
Our blitz
And
packages have a lot to do with that. And I feel like we've had some more frequent blitz packages, guys. Like,
We're
remember
getting
what
home
we
way more.
yeah, remember what we had with Garza last year? Like, come on, just one A gap blitz, please.
just
Please.
one linebacker, please.
that's one thing I was going to talk about too when we're talking about Brent Vigen is like he had the wherewithal, the courage, whatever, to let a couple coordinators go that were part of the perceived problem from the fan perspective last year was a little bit of discontent amongst the staff or whatever you want to call it, and he made some decisions, and there has been none of that narrative this year. It's all
But
been
also-
one happy family.
Also, to identify the coaches within the program that he could elevate.
Mhm.
I mean, that's not always the thing. Is sometimes in those situations you gotta go outside the program to find. He had young dudes groomed for those positions that
Tyler
were his
Walker,
guys that are
right?
molded and bought into his his vision.
I don't think anybody expected Tyler Walker to become the offensive coordinator when Housewright was let go.
Yeah,
And he's done a fantastic job.
he's done a great job.
Yeah, he has. Guys, can I ask you some Golden Coolie questions from Bobcat Nation? There's some good stuff.
Is there anything else we want to say on Idaho before we pivot, or maybe ask? Is there any pertinent Golden Coolie questions about Idaho that we could maybe get off first?
Yeah, one from Wyoming Cat. He says, I'm mostly a lurker here and haven't commented in a long time, but I want to know what tailgate will be serving twice baked Idaho spuds.
I read that earlier and I was like, that's so funny. That's such a clever twice baked
Love
potato. I'm
that.
like, man, why didn't I think about that?
Man, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. I mean, if some thoughts come up on Idaho.
I have some Idaho ones on Twitter if you want me to kind of.
All right, go for it, buddy.
Bobcat's Football Blitz, which is like a fan run account on Twitter, which is a pretty good follow. Why do the Idaho fans continue to think that Idaho compares to MSU, UM, NDSU, and SDU in any way? And also, were you guys in school when it was still Reno H. Sales Stadium? I think Idaho fans, I mean, Idaho does compare to Montana, I would say, at the current iteration of it. But I mean, I honestly, I feel like Idaho is in the position that Montana State was in about 3 or 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, where you were feeling you were competing and you were excited, you were winning regular season games, you're going 8-3, and then you were just getting smoked in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you had this belief that, and it happened 2 years in a row, like this is the year. We know what we're dealing with, and then you go out and get your butt kicked even worse the next year or just as bad. So I just think that they're kind of that in that phase where you're just gonna the getting your footing in the FCS landscape and kind of thinking you're elite because it's just kind of what you do as a fan. You're hopeful and you're optimistic, and this isn't going to end the same way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like I said, I feel like Montana State. I felt like I was exactly that same way a few years ago, and I just feel like I feel different now, I guess.
It's also weird because they're second fiddle in their state. I mean, the flagship university of that state's in the college football playoffs this year.
Yeah, and that's probably they're probably more concerned with that than they are winning on Friday. I feel from my understanding of Idaho fans. It's like you think that MSU fans have like little brother-y type syndrome with Montana. Like Idaho has it way worse with Boise State. It's horrendous.
Fellas, the thing that's most apparent to me, and to build on Thorny's point, is this. If you want to be elite in the FCS, starts in the trenches. You have to have an elite offensive line and an elite defensive line. And that 100%. Is hard to do, but you have to build it through depth. You cannot just say, we're going to pick some portal players. Yes, it's a little stopgap. Maybe you can get a defensive tackle here and there, but you need to develop your 6'2", 240-pound defensive tackle from a high school and just put weight on him and just hope they stay. That's how you have to do it. And then you have to have a good offensive line coach and good strength coaches. And that's how you do it, guys.
And now more than ever, you got to win the in-state recruiting battle with that, because with transfer portals, Montana kids have proven in the portal era that they will not transfer out of the Montana schools right now. If they're at a Montana school, they're going to not transfer. There's probably 3 quality linemen per class coming out of the state of Montana. You have to win those recruits.
Yeah.
And this year, in the past couple, the Cats have won those, and that is massive.
Yep. That's always going to be a foundation. So
Skill players are nice, but that is probably the biggest recruiting battle in the state of Montana that you have to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we've had skill players on par with the SDS schools or Dakota State schools in the past, but we've been outmatched on the lines, and that's really what it comes down to. Because, and that's what it comes down to this game too. Like full circle back to Idaho is, yeah, it's going to be a good game, or it could be a good game. If you're a football fan, it could be a good game, a tussle back and forth. But eventually, Montana State's depth and strength on the lines will overtake. I mean, that should be the narrative of the game if we don't cause unnecessary errors on our part, turnovers and whatnot.
Yep.
yeah, I think that's a good answer. And it was Reno H. Sales Stadium when we were there, right, Foley?
No, it wasn't. I did a quick Wikipedia
Was that 98?
search. 1998, it became Bobcat Stadium.
Oh, well.
If you haven't
Not quite
checked
that
your
old.
401k since Bobcat Stadium was Reno.
There you
Stadium,
go.
so, yeah, I
Man.
gotcha.
I had something clever thought in my head, and then when I did the ad read, it just blanked it all. So that would have been much better than what I came up with. Brant asks us on Twitter, what can we expect from the Jason Eck in the second matchup? More trick plays, blitzing more, or will he just play us straight up, hoping for better results with the starters back? No, he's not going to play us straight up. I hope he plays us straight up. That'd be
Desperation.
the best case scenario.
Yeah. That's what you're going to expect from Jason Eck. Desperation.
You
He's
can't
gonna
hold
gamble.
anything back.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the old water boy. You can't hold anything back. I think they come with every single thing they have in the kitchen sink.
That's why third and fourth downs are going to be so crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna try to scratch and claw his way to any advantage in this. And that's why I respect the guy and hate the guy at the same time. Because I would want a coach who would do anything he could to do that. Here's the thing, fellas. I think Montana State's at a level defensively right now and offensively that no matter what kind of gadget he throws at us or adverse scenario, I think we can absorb it.
I think Idaho's going to try and muck it up, get in our heads.
I think they're going to try to control the clock. That worked for them once.
It's good.
They're going to try to run the clock. They're going to try to have like a 7 or 8 minute drive off the top and see what they can do.
I hope they don't try to just play dirty though, like try to injure us. But
No, I don't think they're going to do that necessarily, but they will definitely try and get under our skin.
yeah, man.
And I feel like our guys are too
Bobcat
cool
Stadium
for
is
that.
going to be buzzing though. Like you said, 20,000 plus night game. I love night games. The juice that it brings is just so good for me.
I
It
just want
feeds
to
me, man.
snow. I want a night snow game.
Ooh,
Like
Just-
not like a downpour, but like a little skiff on the field. Kind of, yeah.
no, I want the heavy flakes coming down and we just run it down their throats. Like it's like don't even pass, just A gap powered the whole time.
Just Scott Ray going into the end zone with like a just pile of snow as he goes in.
I love it.
All right,
Okay.
that's what I got for Idaho related Cooley questions.
All right.
Want to just dive into the rest of them?
Sure. Logan Fife, buy or sell, picking up from the portal.
Sell.
Sell. No.
Who was it? Sorry.
Five. Do
Fife.
we want him? No.
So
There was another one on Vesperis. Buy or sell on Vesperis.
that's more intriguing to me.
I'm enticed.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
Who's the guy from NAU, Rodriguez, that's in the portal again?
Meh.
Yeah. All right.
Meh.
Stones
I don't-
Glessner in the portal return trip. That's a Golden Cooley question.
I don't
Horn
know.
Hornweasel,
You
Bo Hornweasel.
can come and take my Miles Sandstead.
I
Guy,
know.
that guy's won the job. He's doing great.
Stones.
Yep. Foley's over there reminiscing about Stones Glessner.
Oh, yeah, there was one from your boy. We beat the effing Grizz. Buy or sell, re-signing Stones Glessner. And somebody said sell. He goes, yeah, I'm mostly just asking. since Foley. I know he has a man crush on Glessner. I did have a man crush on Glessner. I still won't. Gosh. His dad was so like beside himself when I said, "Your son Stones Glessner," and he's like, "Don't call him that."
Don't.
It's like, I will. Thank you very
Can't
much,
stop me.
Mr.
I just won't
Glessner.
say it around you anymore.
Let's see. CNC Cat Jonathan. He gives us a nice little thing. He says, "Thanks for all the effort you put in the podcast. It's a highlight of my week. Thanks, Jonathan. If you could add something to the Cats game day experience, what would it be?"
Flyovers
Ooh,
every time.
Yeah, big flyover guy here.
I thought you were gonna go kiss cam, Thorny.
Why would I go kiss cam? Do I strike you as a kiss cam guy?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Actually.
I do like what I've seen from like other game days, like NFL or whatever. They do like filters on people, like make them look like they're crying. Or the St. Louis Blues do a really good like lookalike one. They do a celebrity and then find someone that looks like him. Something funny like that, I guess. But no, flyover number one.
Zach, you've been to the most. What would you say outside of flyovers, or is it just flyovers?
Ooh.
Or is it
Well, as an
drones with pizzas?
They get thrown on the field.
That went really well in Missoula.
As an Air Force guy, I love me a good flyover. So, to enhance our game day, what could we do?
What about a creepy drone show?
Yeah,
Daytime creepy drone show.
I don't know. It'd be. Oop, headphones died. That's weird.
A live bobcat.
One thing I would do 2 years ago when we were at Gold Rush, Thorny. If they remember, they had the 100-yard flag that they pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. If they did that, well, they couldn't do it every game because they have so many people on the field. But yeah, that was pretty cool. What if they had a 100-yard bobcat flag? That'd be pretty sweet.
I think it's pretty awesome that we're in a place where we're having a hard time coming up with anything. Because that means the game day experience is pretty damn good as it is. It's come a long way since you and I were college, buddy.
Yeah. It's
coming out of a bobcat head that we bought used from like Ohio University.
Was it?
Yeah. It was like an old one.
For the basketball games.
Is that the one that's in the?
Yeah, I think it was in the basketball arena.
Pretty sure it's the same one. We bought it from like Ohio, like used secondhand, because they're also the Bobcats.
I love our pregame videos. They're so good.
Yeah,
it's all top notch, man. It feels big time.
Gosh, they have so many. Montana State's algorithm of what they do for everything right now athletically is superior. If you think about who they have playing, their coach, the atmosphere, and to boot, the videos that they put out, the content, like Zach was saying the other week, the content is so elite. It's so good how they put it out. The way Montana State's branding themselves right now is so appealing, so very appealing. Why wouldn't you want to go to Montana State after watching? Just take a game day experience, watch the videos online, and you just start to fall in love with Montana State.
I'll add this too, pun intended. Russell is so damn good as a PA announcer.
Yeah, he is.
He's fantastic.
Oh my gosh. He asked me if I wanted to do a first down call. And I don't know if he was like actually like, I think he was just joshing me a little bit.
I would.
And I was like, and I started getting like my palms started sweating when he said that. I was like, I don't know the Russell. I feel pretty comfortable right here, right now. But 20,000 people out there going first down Bobcats, and I might do a and I just get a little weird.
Great Bobcat sound. Hey, Russell actually asked us a Golden Coolie question on Twitter. What's your favorite part of the game day atmosphere?
Ooh.
What do you think of the upgrades since your last visit?
Oh,
and he
man.
also says, let's hear your best first down.
Oh, man.
So now we all got to do it. We got to all do it on the pod. But answer the
All
other
right.
questions. We already just kind of talked a little bit about it, but if you want to answer, like, what's your favorite part of the game day atmosphere? I mean, the Bobcat, the rodeo run out is my favorite.
Yeah, it's undefeated.
That's amazing.
It's not mine. To be honest, it's the Bobcat fans. It really is the sheer amount of Bobcat fans that are in that stadium who care and who are loud. That wasn't like that when I was growing up, man. And when we were going there, even when I was a ticket sale or a season ticket holder, it is a very special thing we got going on right now. And it is just truly because of the Bloom Gold. You know what's the best part? And you don't get this, Zach, because you're just immersed in it. But gosh dang it, just being around Bobcat fans. There's something so comforting knowing that I'm standing next to anybody in line anywhere I went down there, and we met quite a few people who are like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, you were the Ryans. I listened to you," or we introduce ourselves, and it's just when you see someone in blue and gold, you're just instantly connected to that person, and just feel it's the best. So that's my favorite thing about the game days, just being surrounded by people who feel the way I do about my team. The
So
sheer
it's
amount
also-
of them.
Yeah, it's also been sweet. The 4 road games I've been to this year, we travel really damn well.
Yeah.
And our fans
Yeah.
are loud and make a difference even on the road for our guys.
Yeah, that's gotten better over the years too.
All
There's just
right.
more Bobcat fans in general.
What's the second part of his question?
What do you think of the upgrades since your last visit?
Oh, jeez. Keep them coming.
Yeah, all right. We got to
That is
see the indoor practice facility in person, and obviously it's not done. We
ginormous.
didn't get a tour or anything. Just like looking at it from the outside, like I couldn't punt a ball straight up and hit the ceiling if I tried my hardest.
No, it's bigger than you think.
It's
It's
huge.
bigger than you think. The audio video board. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference
come
maker.
on. Yeah, it is.
Scoreboard is ridiculous. The video board.
Now we just need about 60 mil to fill in that East Grand side, redo all that, and just 60.
Just
No
quick
big deal.
60.
some-
Chump change. And we didn't get to see the BAC last time we were here, so being inside of that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's a special thing MSU has.
So as good as it is, there's still room for improvement, and that comes from facilities upgrades. Montana State Stadium is special, and it always holds a spot in my heart. It could be better. It's getting dated in a lot of ways. So yes, the east side grandstands, even booster side as well. Like the boxes up there, you go through there and you're like, okay, I could see some room for improvement. Now it just takes millions and millions of dollars to do this. Who knows if we get there in time, though, right? In time.
It's not like Bozeman's the city of the pores, though.
Yeah, exactly, right?
But it goes back to that thing of that moniker of, Montana State's turned into a rich kid school. It's like, okay, cool.
Where's just give me the money then.
That's donors. Like, that's parents who are getting involved. Like, that's
Yeah, these
that's
kids
just
all graduate
finances.
and go on and remember their time at MSU fondly, and then they give back eventually, and then they get the monies to do
Yep.
so.
All right. Are we doing first downs?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
All right.
I'll go first.
All right.
Been
go
waiting
ahead.
for this moment. First down, Bobcat.
First down, Bobcats. Ow.
First down, Bobcat.
Russell should clip those and just play them in the game next week.
Yep, there's just a guy hitting that button now. Russell's out of a job. Just play those.
Sorry,
One-
Russell.
One says Thorny, one says Foley, one says Zach, and just choose them throughout the game.
They should just play that on the video board during a timeout, and people can vote on their phone, see who did it best.
Yeah, well, there's a Twitter poll for us.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
Some
go.
little engagement
we might have to
opportunity.
pull those.
That's good. That's good, fellas. Appreciate the effort. I really do. All right.
You guys are a little shorter than I was expected. That's what she
Some
said.
Bush Peach confidence right there.
All right.
Hey,
what
are
else
those
we
pretty
got?
good, Zach?
They're not bad. I mean, a 30 rack for $9.99 is pretty awesome.
Makes them
I'll
feel a little.
I'll drink a
taste
lot of
little
things
better.
for that price.
Yeah. 33-cent beers.
Right. Johnny Longman, any surprise portal entries you've noticed around the country? You just see McDowell. And then what position do you think the Cats look at in the portal during the offseason?
Clifton
Cornerback.
McDowell's in the portal again.
Yeah.
Again?
And then he was like defending himself about like, we all really care about a kid going to like a 6 school in college. I'm like, well, kind of.
Wait a second. How many years can he play?
Maybe it's his 5th school. I don't remember, but he's
the
still got a year
definition of
left
a hired
somewhere
gun.
somehow. He's still got a year left somewhere somehow. You must have a COVID year and a rich. I have no.
Dude, do the Grizz bring Clifton McDowell back?
No.
They didn't want him to leave. I don't believe.
I don't think Bobby's ego is going to let him come back.
No, he won't come.
Yeah.
Bobby would never let him come back.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe he has another year to play.
There's
But
going to be
there's
an
a lot-
entire conference out there with just Grizz transfer quarterbacks.
Dude, they
They're all
brought
going to
in
be playing pretty well because they're not bad quarterbacks. They just get
Yeah.
ruined.
Yeah.
They
The
come
Grizz are
in
the
feeling
quarterback
like,
ruiners.
dude, I'm gonna be the man in Missoula. And they're like October, like, this is not going well.
You're going to be
I made
a
a
man in
mistake.
Missoula.
My coach hates me. I have no confidence. I'm going to therapy right now. It's bad, guys.
I suspect the Cats will get a quarterback potentially to at least come compete.
What I like about
for guessing on positions.
Yeah, it seems like it seems like we're at a spot where we don't really need a lot of like immediate needs. Like, oh, we need to go
No.
get a defensive end. We need to go get a defensive tackle or a
Depends who we
quarterback.
lose in the portal soon.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
there's
not
always
thinking about that.
that conversation could be changed later on, but man, the double repping, the building through the high school kids. Now we're going into year 5, Coach Vegan after this year. He told us it was going to happen, and it's played out exactly like he said it would.
I
can
just
see
keep
why.
going back. Yeah, I just keep going back to looking at that indoor facility too, and like, who wouldn't want to see that and be like, yeah, I could practice in there, or like, yeah, this is first rate.
It's gonna be such
Like,
a game changer for
You
spring
look,
practices.
you look at that thing, yeah. You look at that thing, and well, even playoff runs. I mean, shoot, I know we got the bubble turf this year for the playoffs, but that thing's just going to be such a game changer for us.
100%.
That's on par with most Mountain West schools as a facility, if not some of the Pac-12 schools and some of the bigger schools.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know how you'd not come to Montana State as a player.
What
I mean,
was it,
we're high on our
Choate
stock.
said, just get them to campus, and I'll sell it.
Yeah, we're high on our stock right now, that's for sure. But like, just being there last week, you're like, yeah, this is what I could like have every single day. Yeah, sign me up. Right, where's it? Where's the line? And I'm not even just talking about football stuff. I'm talking about just the campus in general. Like walking around, like, yeah,
This is a great place to live. I love living here.
yeah, 100%.
It's fantastic.
And I missed it, and I felt like a kid again when I was back there this weekend. It was glorious.
Yeah.
Who would you rather see in the national championship if we got there between NDSU and SDSU? And this is Dan, my man, on Twitter. Thanks for the question, Danny.
NDSU.
I think NDSU, and my reasoning is coaching staff.
You think they're going to be gone?
No, I just think they're on I mean, this a rare thing to say, but this is an unexperienced NDSU coaching staff. Not by much, but
Wasn't their head coach on the team last year?
I thought he came from Wyoming.
That tree is all the
Yeah.
NDSU
It's still a tree.
Um,
You're still facing a first-year head coach at the helm.
what about you, Thorny? What are you thinking? Bison or Jacks?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I think I'd almost rather go up against NDSU as well. And I'm not sure why I feel that way necessarily.
I think we can run on them better. I think their defense is worse than SDSU's.
Sam Hearn said that he thinks SDSU's defense is better this year than it was last year.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They're both tough. Whoever we
Yeah.
play, they're going to give us their best shot, and they're going to be damn good.
North Dakota State's playing Mercer this week.
And
Tough
South Dakota
game
State
there,
gets Incarnate
Bisons.
Word.
Yep, and we get Idaho.
Which one would you rather play? Incarnate Word, Idaho.
Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word, probably.
I'd like the Texas boys to come up here and experience a chilly Friday night in Bozeman.
Didn't their quarterback throw the ball like 80 times recently?
Does
also-
this game make you feel more nervous than a potential rematch with Davis?
Yes.
There's a quick
I
guess
don't
from
think
Thorny.
so.
I'm not saying I feel nervous necessarily. I'm just saying I feel more nervous. I think we beat Davis on the road. Davis coming to Bozeman in December. They're going to get just ran out of town.
Davis has shown me a lot. I think Davis is just really good.
Davis is really good. But they haven't been to Bozeman yet.
Yeah, true.
Okay, yeah. All right.
We're just going in circles.
Yeah.
It's like, they're both good. Oh, we don't know.
All right, fellas. Anything else?
Last one, KGB on Twitter asks us, does Foley hand out the remaining Golden Coolies in Frisco or deem all questions unworthy until they're restocked in 2025?
People want their coolies.
We've been real bad at picking winners this
Yeah.
season. We just ask a bunch of questions and just get out of the episode.
Yeah, that sounds
we've maybe 20% of the time we actually remember to pick a winner.
no,
and
but
somebody
Thorny, that's because like you legit forget. But I, in my brain, I'm like, I'm counting these coolies. Sometimes I'm like, well, I guess let's get out of here, Thorny. It's time to go.
buy some more then.
It's going to be like Gollum
What's
from
the
Lord
point
of
of
the
having
Rings, which is his
sponsors if we're not
last
spending
one.
the money on it?
It's just the last coolie, just my precious.
Order some more. God.
I don't know why I haven't yet.
You've only had about 6 months or so.
It's time to get out of here, Thorny.
They got stuck in the. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Man, that was a fun weekend. That was a fun pod, boys. Thanks for hopping on, Zach. We always appreciate when you hop on.
Yep.
Thanks to everyone that, came and hung out with us this weekend and the people we got to meet and talk to. That was really fun. You can always find us on Twitter, RRCatcast. You can find us on the web, rrcatcast.com. You can find us on Instagram, rrcatcast, all that good stuff. You can email us. Oh, yeah. rrcatcast@gmail.com. Foley's got a cat on his lap right now. That's cute. All right, boys, let's get out of here. Let's go, Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go, Cats.